Okay, this is part two. Well, I don't know if I should name it the same thing because this will be driving in the city in the Philippines, actually. You know what I'm saying? But alright, so this is really the continuation to driving in the province on a motorcycle. So if you didn't see that, I'll just let you know what's going on. The van in front of me is filled with pretty much everything I accumulated in out here in the Philippines, including my wife, my child. My brother's wife is in there, and her grandma. We're moving from the province to the city to a five-bedroom house because yeah, I'm tired of living in the countryside, and my brother didn't even want to give it a chance. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. He wasn't even trying to give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? Which I definitely understand. It was cool for the first couple of months experiencing it, but after that, I was like, yo, I was team. Let's get the hell out of here and get to the city. But my wife was just on some she loved being there. She wanted to be around family. Blah blah blah. And I just couldn't convince her. I tried everything, and she's perfect in every way, except for she went to live in the countryside and didn't want to live in the city. So I'm not gonna knock up for that. You know what I'm saying? But once we had a daughter, now things changed. I like, look, I need her to have a better life. We gotta, just because you grew up poor don't mean our kids need to grow up poor. You know what I'm saying? I know you like being around your family, but guess what? They can always visit. It's not like we're moving to another country. We're just moving to the other side, all right? After, I ain't gonna hold you, after a few arguments and long discussions, I put my foot down and yeah, we're making a big move. So you're all caught up. But I'd still suggest that you go back and watch the other video because this is a very, very big difference between driving out here in the city compared to driving in the countryside. One, you don't have to worry about different animals, running across the road. Cats and dogs and people are, usually the most, that's gonna do it. But yo, I'm not gonna hold you. Sometimes it be chickens. Sometimes sometimes it be a cow on the road, a horse. Sometimes I'm not even lying with you. It could be a duck, And all those animals they're not wild animals. They're owned by somebody, but they just let them roam around. It's really bananas to me, because the countries, the farms out in America, we have everything gated off. We give them a good portion of the land to roam around, but at the end of the day, they have only that certain area to run around, which is the land that the farmer owns. He don't let them go on other people's farms or other people's houses. Like, these animals will literally dead ass go in other people's house, like a duck walked in the house with kids and everything following. And I'm like, and then when I say kids, I don't mean human kids. I mean the duck kids, ducklings, or whatever you call them, following right in the house looking for food. And I'm like, yo, does someone own this duck, or are we about to eat this duck? What's up? And it's like, oh, that's the neighbor's duck. Huh? And they just let them run around like this? And they're like, yeah. And y'all know who owns who? Like, I don't see no branding, no collar, no nothing. Like, they just know. So one farm will, have a whole bunch of ducks, for instance. Another farm will have chickens. Like, if there's a farm that has something, the other farm don't have. So that's how they know the difference between who has, who owns what. But still, to let your animals just run around to other people's land is bananas. If that happened in America, I'm not gonna hold you. They stealing that animal. Like, that animal is no longer yours. That's dinner tonight, or we're just they're just gonna keep it and breed it themselves. You know what I'm saying? This is a free animal. So that was completely new data for my brain to comprehend. But out here in the city, you don't gotta worry about that, man. As you can see, the road is solid concrete. That's the other thing. There's a lot of holes and dirt on the road in the countryside. Driving here in the city is completely different. It's pretty much, I felt like I was almost in America. I'm not gonna hold you. Everything is together. Everything is up to date, lights and all that stuff. the checkpoints is, I like to, they have the checkpoints. Pay attention. I go through some of them, but the checkpoints, they have armed guards there to make sure the wrong people is not on the road, which makes me feel hella safe, in case of militia, stack up together trying like, oh, let's go get us some foreigners, you know what I'm saying? They gotta go through these checkpoints, they be like, let me look in your car. Oh, hell no, you got those guns? Yeah, I gotta get out, you know what I'm saying? They get arrested on the spot. But yeah, the road is smooth. Pretty much all I had to really pay attention to and look out for is other drivers. I didn't have to worry about freaking anything running across the road. Where they're not supposed to. I mean, every now and then a person may try to dot across because they don't have like stoplights all over the place like in America. So the people who want to cross in the middle, they just have to I don't know if you're familiar with the old game called Frogger. They have to time the traffic just right so they can get across. So that you're gonna see the video. It don't happen too often. And by the way, it's a 2-hour ride, but I'm splitting it up into half-hour videos. And I decided that, I'm cutting out a lot of stuff, I want to cut out a lot of stuff and just make it 3 parts because, one, I don't know if y'all want to, still watch me on the road, voiceover and the video and everything. I don't know how good this will go over, but the most important thing is, if anyone is out here planning on, trying to come for me, I can't let them know exactly how to get to my new house. That would be idiotic, So, we're going to have to cut out a lot of parts, Yeah. We're like, oh, let's watch the video. We know exactly how to get to him, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're not playing those kind of games. So, but as you can see, it's a nice smooth ride, and I have to say, in this video is when I started feeling it. I started feeling it because at this point, like I said, I cut out some stuff. It's already starting to go on an hour, or me being on the road, and my legs started cramping up on me. My foot, I had to scratch my foot out in front of me and twirl my foot around. I hope I'm explaining that in a way you can understand. Because the thing is, now listen, I did 8-hour rides from, if you're familiar with America, I drove straight from Brooklyn, New York, all the way to Virginia, okay? Yes, I got lost a few times before any of y'all going, hey, it shouldn't take 8 hours. Yeah, I got lost a few times, but yeah, the point is I drove straight there and, no cramping or nothing, but I was on a Harley. I got, Harley, you're on the couch with an engine, you know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, this is one of the checkpoints I was talking about. So you should see some armed guards to the right of my bike. And I'm talking about AK-47, shotguns, the whole deal. So yeah, they looked. I don't know if you can tell, but he was looking in the cars and make sure the right people are there, not someone looking like they're about to do some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they also check license plates. Yeah. So like in my last video, I was talking about how once you get your registration for your motorcycle and your driver's license, you have all that checked, but you didn't get your license plate, but you got your plate number. You can write your plate, on your bike. It's legal here in the Philippines. But luckily, you don't have to read my sloppy handwriting. My wife wrote it neatly as she could, but then my brother-in-law feels like, oh, he got a guy that can actually make the plate look even better, make it look real. And, I had that done and put in my bike. So it's not like, official plate, but it looks pretty close. And as you can see, I went to the checkpoint, no issue, So for those of you that, was in my other video, commenting that, that's not allowed. You get a ticket, get arrested, blah blah blah. As you can see, it's perfectly fine. I went through, at this point in the video, I think that was like my third checkpoint. But again, I told you I had to cut some scenes out because I don't want to advertise exactly how to get to me, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I was saying, back in America, we rode on Harleys, we rode on Indians. When we part of the bike club, they went to an American Bikes. So all my beautiful sports bikes, they literally was just for local, just for riding around Brooklyn, New York, going on dates, hanging out with the crew, stuff like that. But when I had to drive to different states, I had to jump on a Harley. And since I was president of my club, there's really no excuse for me not to be on a Harley or Indian or American made bike, you know what I'm saying? So this is actually my first long ride on a sports bike. So, mentally I'm definitely ready for this ride because, I did way longer rides in America, but they all was on cruisers. I did not take that into account. Versus being on a sports bike, my legs was cramping up. And I know some of y'all who love the Harleys and those cruisers are probably like, oh, see, that's why you should be on a cruiser. You're old, da da da. Yeah, I'm also disabled. There's something wrong with my back, and I would say my spine is reversed because I'm more comfortable hunched over than upright. So even if when I was on a Harley, I try to put seats on there and everything to try to make it more comfortable. It just caused me more pain. I had to ride the Harley like I was on a sports bike. And that's when I realized, damn, yeah, when I'm on a sports bike, I don't feel no pain. Like, it's just pleasure for me, And so that's why when I got over here, I was looking at different bikes. I was like, yeah, I gotta be a sports bike. So this whole long 2-hour ride, straight, I ain't gonna hold you. I wanted to pull over a few times to rest up, but nope, I pushed through it. And my back was fine. I didn't feel no pain in my back. Just my legs was cramped up, but no pain. I was able to push through it and just keep riding. So that's just me. So if you come out here and you're like, yo, you want to join the crew and all that jazz, look, as long as you're on tools, it's fine, bro. I don't care. You could be on a cruiser, you could be on a sports bike. The main purpose of Twister MC is to keep us safe, to keep us foreigners safe, you know what I'm saying? Because if we're driving together and we go in the wrong place, you know what I'm saying, and I ain't gonna hurt you. If you're by yourself, I can show you some videos, but I'm trying to keep my channel, positive, showing good stuff. But I'm sure there's other channels showing you that, like Asia Now, I follow him. Foreigners getting kidnapped out here or attempted kidnap and stuff like that. Because they found out where they live, so they try to break into their house, or they follow them on the road and make them push over so they can get at them. It's different ways. But if we were rolling together, you know what I'm saying? It's just 5 or more of us on the road. We got the number advantage. Because a lot of those times is especially if they catch you on the road, that's just opportunity. It's just like maybe 2 or 3 of them. They see a foreigner by himself and they're like, yo, let's go get that money kind of thing, But if it's 5 of us, and trust me, we have over 10 members now. If it's 5 of us on the road at one time, we got the number advantage, you know what I'm saying? So, that's going to be hard for them to try to overtake, And it's not like they all riding with, illegal guns on them. Some of them just have knives or razors or whatever. And I'm going to tell you what, you pull up next to me with some razor talking about pull over or knife. First of all, catch me, bitch. I'm hitting that throttle and I'm taking flight. And if you're able to keep up with me, okay, good. Let's see how long you can keep going, because I ain't pulling over for no damn because you have a knife on you. And I'm sorry to say, even if you have a gun on you, I guess you're just gonna have to shoot me. You ain't taking me live. Screw that. But best believe I'm going for my gun license, I'm saying? And I'm just trying to get things set, and then, it'll be a firefight. I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm just saying the point is, if we're all together, they'll think twice before trying to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? And as far as following us home, I'm usually very vigilant. I'm always looking at my mirrors. I'm always looking around me. If I see the same vehicle following us for quite a while, I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna pull up on ahead because if you know anything about a bike club, we have someone that leads the road. That's the road captain. He usually takes us where we gotta be. I'll pull up next to him and let him know, yo, we got someone following us, and let him, we'll go right to the police station, or we'll go right to a freaking checkpoint and just pull over and be like, yeah, this dude is following us, check him out. For real. But, yeah, man, we don't have to worry too much about that. And if they somehow, some way, is able to follow us without us knowing, well, guess what? If you live in the same place where I'm at, we have armed security around the clock, all over the place, okay? So they're gonna really have to fight their way to get through there, you know what I'm saying? And by the time they do, I'm quite sure 5-0 will be right there to catch them. And trust me, the cops out here look like military. I thought there was military first. It was like, no, that's police. That's police? What the hell? So, yeah, we're good to go. But yeah, as you can see, the city is nice out here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Back in the countryside province, there's no cell signal. I'm gonna tell you right now. You have to go about 3 blocks away. Put it in those kind of terms. In order for you to pick up cell signal, but if you just chill in your house and just want to casually make a phone call, well, it depends, because I'm able to make phone calls because I have smart. But if you want to online or whatever, you have to put Wi-Fi in your house. So that's a big difference. But out here in the city, you don't gotta worry about none of that. You could make phone calls, take phone calls, go online, all that stuff, shenanigans you normally would do with your smartphone, in your house, out your house, whatever. But, in the countryside, you don't have that luxury. Unless you have smart, because some people have different phone signals, they was not able to even get phone calls or text phone calls, because my wife had a different carrier plan. And like sometimes she was, like you sign into an app and they want to send you a text message code or something to verify who you are, blah blah blah. And she would, have to use my number in order to get that, because she wasn't able to get text messages because her phone plan wasn't good enough like that. So you really gotta have like a smartphone plan. That seems to be the best one. There's supposed to be another one that's good, but I didn't test it, so I can't vouch for it or anything like that. But I'm just saying, you gotta deal with shit like that. But in the city, signal all over the place. You don't have to worry. You know what I'm saying? Wi-Fi is scrambled out here. My favorite thing is deliveries. You can have food delivered to you. You couldn't do that over there. But yeah, back to the road and everything. I also want to mention, which I totally just remembered, that I should have brought up in, you could say part 1, riding in the Proverbs on a motorcycle. I think I said that right. Is that as a foreigner, you automatically stand out. Like you already like catching everyone's eye. But being on a sports bike, which is, they call it a big bike over here. It doesn't matter if it's a 250cc and up, they call it a big bike. So being on a big bike over here, they know it's expensive. And they also know that there is no payment plans for foreigners. Like, you gotta put that stack on that table, and buy the bike. There's no, okay, I'll pay this month, pay that month, pay that month. Like, literally the only way, I did find a way you can do it, but you have to put the bike under your wife's name or maybe one of her family members' name, and give them the money, and then they pay it. That no, yeah, I wasn't doing it. Like this bike was cost me 88,000 pesos, which is basically my entire check. So I just bought it one time. You can see it in my shorts. I have it on short, but yeah, they know that there's no payment plan for us, so they see you on this kind of bike, they immediately going to be turning their head, drooling, and flirting with you. So if you look closely in the other video, especially I'm in the countryside, the girls that rode by, they definitely was breaking their necks. Now, only in the beginning of the video, I had my helmet. So my helmet opens up. So I had it open up only in the beginning. But once the rocks and pebbles started hitting my face and stuff, I closed that motherfucker so fast, because, the speed you're going, those pebbles hit you, it might as well be bullets. Like, just sting. Well, not really bullets, but damn near BB gun, you could say. So I had to close it. So they didn't know if I was a Filipino or a foreigner, because I wear the protective gear, gloves, helmet, all that. You can't see my skin color. You know what I'm saying? Basically, is what I'm trying to say. All they know is it's a man and he's on an expensive bike, and he was just eye humping the hell out of me. So, if you're single and you come out here, you find a place to rent, or hell, you rent to own a condo or something like that, because you can do that here, and you buy yourself a motorcycle and you start driving around, you ain't gonna be single for long. I'm just letting you know right now. They're gonna be cleaning to you. Now, yes, I know some of you are like, yeah, that's because you got money and they want your money. Well, all women around the world want your money. Let's just keep it real. But the women out here, I'll say 95% of them, they just want a better life. They don't want to live poor. They don't want to be wondering where their next meal is. They want a stable roof over their head. They just want a better life, most of them. Now, there are some that will try to scam you. That's the other 5%. But let's keep it real. Out in the States, yeah, they it's not that they want a better life. They want Gucci. They want gold. They want, shit that don't really matter in the long run. You know what I'm saying? They want big, expensive meals to post on, social media and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a big difference. So, you come over here and get a woman that look way better with, this smoking 10 without makeup. You know what I'm saying? Which is hard to say in the States. Without makeup, a 10. You know what I'm saying? And only want you because to them, you look good, and they know you can provide them a better life as far as a roof over the head, meal on meal in the fridge, food in the fridge, you know what I'm saying? They're not looking for you to buy them expensive cars or jewelry or anything like that. I mean, I ain't gonna say if you do it, they're gonna be like, no, don't do it. No, they're gonna take the gift. If you tell them in advance, like my wife, I'll tell her, oh, I'm gonna get you this. Nah, that's not necessary. She tell me no. But if you buy it in advance, yeah, they'll take it. I'm just saying. Come on. I'm not gonna lie to you. They will take it, but they're not gonna require it from you like they do in the States. You know what I'm saying? Like these girls want 500 dinners for the first date. These nuts. What the hell? Hell no. Like, you can take a girl out here to the beach on a first date and she'll freaking fall in love with you, bro. You don't even gotta spend a dime. I mean, yeah, you gotta spend on car fare, but I'm just saying. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it 100, alright? But yeah, you come over here, you get one of these bikes, yeah, man. You swagging it, man. Like even if you don't have game, you just pull up next to them. Hey, how you doing? That's it. They get on your bike. Like, hey, how you doing? My name is. What's your name? You want to hang out for the day? Sure, get on the bike. Let me tell you something. Back when I was in the States, back when I was in Brooklyn, New York, that's how I used to pick up girls all day. Harley, sports bikes. It don't matter what kind of bike I'm on. If I see them looking good, man, listen, I'll pull over next to them. Hey, how you doing? What's your name? What's my name? What are you doing today? And then sometimes I'm so bold, I'll cut them off. What are you doing today? Yeah, you ain't doing nothing. That's cool. Get on the back of my bike. Let's go hang out. What? They'll get right on that bike, boy. Right on that bike. And yes, later that day, I'm banging the hell out of them. let me tell you something. I can count on one hand how many girls I dated that didn't give it to me on a first date. And trust me, I had a lot of fucking girls, bro. You can check my Instagram. I have all my proof on there. You know what I'm saying? So, for those who want to hate and don't believe. Okay? Good. But yeah, man, you don't even have to have real big game. Your bike will be your game for you. But yeah, as you can see, it's a good ride. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? I definitely prefer riding in the city than the countryside. I feel more safer. That no cat or dogs is gonna start running out in front, or farm animal, causing an accident. I definitely can hit that throttle and not worry too much about that. And what I noticed the difference between driving out here in the city versus like in the States or whatever, there's not like highway patrol driving on the road, monitoring your speed and shit like that. Like, as long as you slow down at the checkpoint, you're good. Cause like, I don't know if you noticed, but the first checkpoint we drove through, we slowed down, and then once we passed the checkpoint, this van sped up. Like I had to oh shit, that's what we doing. Like, I thought we was gonna stay slow for a little while and then go. Like we started going immediately. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh wow, okay. So yeah, definitely. They don't really be monitoring the speed like that. You know what I'm saying? Which, yes, does cause a lot of accidents to be happening out here. And they have this thing where they want to be pretty on the bike. Is the only excuse I can give. They don't want to wear no gear. They don't want to wear no helmet. At least a helmet. Come on. Like I had to literally force my wife to wear the helmet and the motorcycle coat I got her. Like they just have this belief that if it's their time, this is their time. I said, look at bullshit. I was like, I had 3 motorcycle accidents in America when I first was learning, and if I didn't have gear, I would not be here in the Philippines with you right now having kids. Like, come on. if that's the case, then because she's like, oh, God told me to wear the gear that day. I was like, I wear the gear every day. So if God is telling me to wear the gear that day, well, I'll tell you what, I'm telling you to wear the gear that day. Because God's telling me to tell my wife to wear the gear, okay? She's ready. So, if you watch the videos and pay attention to the bikes I'm going by, I'm in the city, so I didn't see too many people on the bike without, a helmet on or whatever, because you go to that checkpoint without a helmet, yeah, your bike getting taken, you get a ticket, all that good shit is happening to you, you know what I'm saying? Big fine, all that jazz. But, in the countryside, they take that chance, man. Like, it's the reverse. It'll be hard to see someone with a helmet on the countryside. I'm like, what the hell? Like, like the helmet I have, you can literally open the helmet up, So, if you trying to, because I told, when Dexter, when my brother-in-law wanted to ride my bike, he has 3 helmets that he don't wear. Like, them things is covered in so much dust. You would think they was passed down through the family and generations. This was your great-grandpappy helmet, Like, I'm like, why you got so much helmets? You don't even freaking wear it. Like, what are we doing here? I was like, if you worry about, having someone see your face, don't worry. Here, use my helmet. They can still see your face. You can get your flirt on or whatever. He didn't want to wear nothing. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So, luckily he didn't bust his head open when he fell with my bike. But, like, what? Then, they ride in flip-flops, no boots, nothing. I'm like, yo, at least put some boots on. Come on, what are you doing? And sure enough, he fell with my bike and fucked up his whole leg, he didn't break no bones, but the skin was all, slid off and shit like that. So I'm just looking at him like, and I had to tell him, if you would have had your freaking, some boots on, that wouldn't happen to your foot. I'm just saying. And I use that also example with my wife, like, see what happened to your brother, and you said, he'll be good because he's been driving since he was walking. If he had gear on, he would have been hurt like that. So very important. Definitely wear your gear. But yeah, when you're out here, they definitely gonna be looking at you. Like I said, they didn't know if I was a foreigner or not. But they still was eye humping me even after I closed my helmet because they know this is an expensive bike. Well, expensive for them. Not expensive for us. I'm gonna keep it real. It's definitely not expensive for us. Come on. This bike is what, $1,700 in our money in USD. Come on, this ain't shit for us. But the bikes I bought in America, man, even a used bike cost me over $3,000. Sometimes $5,000. I paid $5,000 for my Hayabusa. You know what I'm saying? So this is cheap for us, but this is very, make no mistake, it's because it's cheap for us. Don't mean it's not expensive for them, because their minimum wage jobs out here pay as low as 10,000 pesos a month, which is like $106 USD, up to 20,000 pesos a month, which is like 360 USD. You know what I'm saying? They work all month, and they're able to save their money all month, and that means no car fare, no eat money, just every check they just able to save. They walk to work, they eat at home, they starve, they don't eat no lunch when they're at work. Then and save every check. That's only 20,000 pesos. My bike, brand new, is 88,000 pesos. So let's do some quick math, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. So you're talking about 5 months of working hard as hell, not touching a penny, just to buy this bike. Okay, so don't take this bike lightly. Just because it's nothing for us, don't mean it ain't nothing for them. All right, a lot of times we come here and we take advantage of how cheap everything is for us. But remember, for them, they gotta work hard to get it. All right, so this is just part 1 of being in the city, part 2 of the whole trip altogether. So stay tuned. I'll have part 3, and that'll be the final one. I don't want to, we already discussed it. I'm not trying to make this 4 parts. It's a long ride. We got to cut some stuff out, But, yeah. Comment, rate, subscribe. See you in the next video.